Take a ride, ride on your life. Take a ride. If you're feeling out of balance and you're put to the test, take a ride.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kick Conflict to the Curb, the place that growth-minded professionals discover new strategies on how to deal with bullies, narcissists, micromanagers, and to make sure that their employees feel heard and that they have a sense of belonging. I'm your host, Joyce Weiss, communication coach and the queen of conflict resolution. And clients come to me to make sure that their relationships are improved and they reduce stress. And how do individuals and small groups do that? They transform from not knowing how to start a tough conversation to feeling confident using their voice without losing their cool. Well, I am excited to introduce you to our guest, Janette Ghedotte. I've been in her boot camps, and we're going to talk about accurate body language. So here is a introduction so you know who Janette is. Ever wish you could read people's minds? Psychologist and truth and deception detection expert Janette Ghedotte can show you how to detect and decode people's bodies. Learn effective strategies to establish rapport, decode body language messages, and even be more successful in your career and interpersonal relationships. Understand what people subconsciously communicate through body language and verbal or written statements. Enhance effectiveness in interpersonal and business communication. Overcome resistance or objections and get to yes more often. Close more business sales and earn more money. From head to toes, the body always shows the truth. Here's a fun fact about Janette. She immigrated from Vietnam to the United States when she was only 3 years old. Since she didn't understand English at the time, she had to rely on observing body language. Welcome to the show, Janette Ghedotte.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you, Joyce, for inviting me to your show.
Oh, are you kidding? It's about time. We've known each other and I've been in your boot camp. So tell me, what got you interested in becoming a body language expert?
Well, as a psychologist, I always want to know how people tick and what is their motivation and what are their perspectives. Because once you know a person's motivation
Mhm.
and what drives them, it kind of explains their behavior, even though it might be odd or not familiar to us. And so body language, along with verbal communication, gets you to the core and the foundational message, leads you to the truth, and gets you to the yes in interpersonal and professional interactions with others. And who doesn't want that?
Absolutely. And I'm guessing, but you're going to have to tell me if my guess is correct or if one of these assumptions that because you were 3 when you came here, and you and I have talked about this before, how is this one of the motivations that got you into um, body language? Because language, right? You
Yes.
didn't know that? Tell us more about that, please.
Yes. I like to tell everybody, we were body language experts even before we were born. Even before we were born, we were taking all of the cues from our birth mother and then the cues in the environment, and we interacted with people using nonverbal language. It was only until we learned language and then entered into school that and became high school graduates that we became amateurs in body
Sure.
language. So I'm trying to get
Fascinating.
people back to being fluent. And thank goodness I had the opportunity to observe body language in America when I was 3, so that I could, transition from my native Vietnamese to English very seamlessly as a child. So, actually, our first language is body language. It is body language, but we suppressed it because we rely too much on verbal. And I invite people to watch the body, baby, because everything is revealed in the body before birth, while alive, and even after our death. Forensic scientists and people in the funeral home can assess what caused death from the body messages.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So what we never discussed, but you just gave me this thought. People who come here from another country and they don't know English, have you ever heard them say, or you, in your own experience, what? Oh, here I'm using I'm so afraid that I'm going to like cross my arms and you're going to yell at me or scratch my nose. But what kind of clues can they pick up when they don't know the language yet?
Yes. I think anybody who travels abroad internationally or comes here as a new citizen or a new visitor, we tend to use body language in trying to convey our message, like, where can I get a telephone, or where is the taxi? We use
Sure.
our body language more. And if you think about it, let's say, Joyce, you and the audience and I travel to some exotic place and we don't know the language, then all of a sudden, all of our senses would be activated more than just going to the store locally. The
Mhm.
sights and the senses and the smells would be acutely aware we would be acutely aware of everything because we don't know the language. That's what I try to encourage people to do in your next interaction with anybody. Be present in the moment and really absorb everything about the person. Watch your own body language
Mhm.
and everything in the environment, because those are all clues to get you to the yes, yes, yes.
I love that. And here's a personal example. When I went on a cruise to Portugal, there were a lot of people from England. And there was one lady who I said, because that's right after I took your boot camp.
Ah, yeah, you were in my boot camp.
Here
A star student, by the way.
we go. So this lady had her nose up in the air. I mean,
Mhm,
she really did. It's not that she was a snob, but she looked like a snob.
mhm,
She always crossed her arms, and I said,
mhm.
I'm not getting good vibes, but I know that sometimes maybe people are cold or maybe that's just how she's frozen like that. Then there was another couple that without even meeting, they were so inviting. They were
Yes.
laughing, and when I go to the British Isles in a few weeks,
Oh,
actually in
wonderful,
May,
wonderful.
I actually contacted the couple who was very engaging because we
Oh,
became
good.
friends just from them looking open. So
Yes,
this can happen, but we can also be wrong because that lady with the she could have been, but it ended up, guess what? She was a
yes.
snob.
Well, you had 2 puzzle pieces, the
Okay.
lift of the nose and, the stiffness and the closed arms, so those are 3. Plus,
Hmm.
British people tend to be more formal and respectful than us
Yes.
Americans, that we're more casual, and so what Joyce knows through my boot camp is one body language gesture is just one body language gesture. You need to cluster the clues, which Joyce did, and she accurately sensed that that person was a more formal or guarded. But Joyce has the wonderful personality. She could get that person to open up
Oh,
and be more open and enhance the rapport. So I know that
thank
you
you.
could do that. But for instance, when we are engaging with prospects with behavior like
Oh.
that, then that is your sign, audience, to maybe hand them a warm cup of a beverage, or show them a document, or show them your trophies of achievement to get them to naturally open up the arms. Okay.
Wow.
So use strategies to open up closed body language.
So I love this. So if somebody is crossed arms
Mhm,
and you don't know, are
mhm.
they taken back and they're not thrilled with you, or are they cold? You're saying just offer them a cup of coffee. That automatically
Yes,
opens
yes,
their that is now that we're on the wait, did you want to say something else about that?
yes.
Please.
That's just an example. What you want to do is you want to change their closed body language by maybe inviting them up. Hey, Joyce, let me show you our boardroom where our, trophies of achievement are, if you're in a business setting. And then when Joyce gets up, you want to match and mirror her pace
Ah,
and her leg movement subconsciously, so that you're aligned with your prospect. And when you're side by side walking together,
right.
there's less confrontation if you are directly across the table, that they can more openly uh, communicate their wants and needs, because they don't feel, well, first of all, they're not seeing you directly, and you're
Right.
matching and mirroring their leg placement and their stride.
So, if you have a chance with this person, whether it's sales or whether it's even your another employee that's a direct report, you're saying if you get them up and walk,
Walk
and
and talk.
I just want to make sure that I got this. You're side by side, you're matching them, you're mirroring them.
Mhm.
Now, what about you're sitting, you're behind your desk,
Uh-huh. You wanna get
and
away from behind the desk. You do
so
not
how
want
do
a
we do
barrier.
this? How do we okay, it's the typical, let's say I'm a because I work with a lot of HR
Yes,
professionals. So let's say I'm a HR professional and you're my direct report and I want to have a really crucial conversation with you. I'm behind my desk. Tell us
yes.
what we should do, please.
If you're trying to build rapport, everybody show me an L, Joyce. You
Mhm.
want to be at the L corner of the table, so that you and your prospect, or you and your target, are at the corner of the table and not directly across. And for God's sakes, if it's a man, do not be directly across, because that is very confrontational, especially for men. But my recommendation, if you have the opportunity, is get up and make sure all items and potential barriers are removed from you and your prospect, because those are literally barriers between you two. So walk and talk are really great. And if you are, let's say, you're offering a beverage, if it
Yeah.
is a warm beverage, let's say Joyce preferred tea or coffee, I want to hand the warm beverage directly to her, so that there's direct, passing the baton. If it is a cold beverage, audience, please set it near your prospect, but do not directly pass a cold Coca-Cola or cold water to your prospect, because that cold energy sends a nonverbal message of cold. When you want to warm their heart and get to the yes, it's yes, yes, yes.
Wow. This is see, some of these things are new for me. You've added a lot of things. Always learning.
But they make
Oh,
sense once you hear them.
now I remember you talked about the feet. Now, viewers, you're gonna think, well, maybe you're going like this. "Ah, what is she talking about? In the boot camp, you talked about the feet and you had a lot of videos that showed us. Tell us a few tips about how we can um, think or read the body language of the
Yeah,
person that we want to
yeah,
have a conversation with, please.
yes.
I love that.
Thank you, dear. Amateurs, look here. Those who are trained in body language, everybody look at your feet. Okay. Feet are the foundation. The brain sends the message to the feet to take the entire body where it needs to go. Then the hands do the labor, whether it's typing or, sports or fighting for our lives. Okay. So feet first. And if you want to know if a couple is connected, right, in business or in pleasure, look at the feet. Because if they're awkward from any place else, you want to look at the feet. If the toes are touching, it's a connected pair. It's a connect, because if we don't like somebody, we're not going to want to touch any part of them. And if the feet are touching, that's a sign that there's a connection somehow. So, and I like the example that I gave about Putin a few years ago, when he was done with the press conference about their interference. All 10 of his toes were lifted. So everybody lift your feet up so all 10 of your toes are lifted. You see, it takes extra energy to do that.
Okay. And what does it mean? What did it mean,
Yes.
in your opinion?
Is subconsciously he felt relieved and empowered. So his feet showed his personal power. Okay, personal power, because feet belong on the ground. So when you lift your 10 toes, any
Right.
gravity defying behavior shows personal power. Remember Jodi Arias? She went to the wall over there. She was accused of first-degree murder of her boyfriend,
Sure.
Travis. And she said, mark my words, no jury's going to convict me. Mark my words. So she went over to the wall while she's being interrogated by a detective on first-degree murder, and she did a handstand.
I remember that.
The gravity-defying behavior of those 10 toes to the highest point possible indicated she was so cocky and confident that she was going to beat the rap, that her body language showed it. And all the media didn't understand this bizarre behavior. But Joyce and I understood it because we understand what gravity-defying behavior means. Now, when the jury was giving the final verdict of guilty, 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 Joyce, do this with your chin. Her Mandela's muscles in her chin were trembling.
Wow.
We can't try to tremble your cheeks now. We can't, because we don't feel the emotion. So there was a lot of wrinkling and trembling. Her feet weren't elevated at that point, I'm telling you.
No. Okay. You caught me, and I'm going to reveal something, viewers, that in one of the classes, I just needed to stretch. I was zoomed out, and I was going like this.
Yes,
And
I love it.
did she, as in you, ream me?
What?
I was doing this just because I needed to get my back, but you were telling me that could be a power pose that
It is
wouldn't
powerful.
that wouldn't do so well in certain
Depending.
circumstances. So remind me, yes, you're right, it's a power pose. I don't want to have a power pose if I'm going to have a direct conversation with a client of mine.
It depends. See what
Okay.
Joyce is doing? And now everybody expand out, expand out. See how
Okay.
it takes extra energy to expand out?
Yeah.
So if you're dealing with somebody and they do this, depending on the topic and the situation, what they're showing you is an expansion of taking physical space. And when you take up physical space, you feel personally confident, at ease, happy. When we are distressed, we're closing in, and we're doing a lot of picking of and touching of ourselves. But this is awesome. It's awesome.
Okay.
But depending, if you're talking in a tough conversation and
Yes.
the other person is doing that person is showing authority and control over you. So you have to be aware of the situation. But what I love about Joyce and my work together is when you know the body language nuances and are able to detect and decode body language, then you can apply Joyce Weiss's wonderful communication skills and conflict resolution skills to get to the yes, to navigate through the landmines, enhance rapport, show alignment and connection, and get your client or your prospect to the yes and earn more money.
Yes, and respect. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, just so you know, those of you who are either watching live or later on, Jeanette and I have done programs together,
Yeah,
and
we're
it's
a dynamic duo, baby.
well, thank you. Yeah, we definitely have a lot of energy, and this is what Jeanette, what you just said. So if I had somebody that I was having an issue with, and they were like folding their arms or doing
Or
some other
rocking,
or what,
and hugging and hugging.
rocking or hogging, or even going like this
Yeah.
or whatever, I would then say something from my wife's communication.
Yes, you would.
I'm just curious. Are we together? Or I'm just curious. Is there something that I just said to set you off? They may say to you, "What are you talking about? Everything's
Yeah.
fine." Or be prepared. You ask the question. They may say, "Yeah, you just said blah, blah, blah." And that really bothered me. So the
You
two
want to know
together,
that earlier than later.
bring it out, baby.
Yeah.
So oh God, I can't believe that we're almost done. Um, why are you so passionate about body language?
Because the more people who know how to get to the truth, the better our communities, our families, our relationships, and the world will be.
Mm-hmm.
So many people do not understand deception. And when you can detect that in the body, oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, you can make better informed decisions earlier. A lot of women and a lot of people who have taken my body language training, they said, oh my God, I wish I had known this 20 years ago. I wouldn't have married the person that I married, or
Oh,
I wouldn't have
absolutely.
gotten involved in the business transaction that I've done. And in the media, we've heard several, gigantic Ponzi schemes where millions and billions of dollars have been stolen by people through the investments.
Mm-hmm.
And the clues, folks, are always there. And Joyce and I are here to help you navigate through that, detect it early, and then with Joyce's kick conflict to the curb or verbal aikido or the gap, you can feel confident in your communication skills and know how to get to the yes.
Oh, absolutely. The two go together and so well. And here you were talking about the Ponzi scheme. The people who are involved in, I'm going to call them the crooks,
Yeah, they are.
they had such good body language that the people that because they were pretending.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then comes in Jeanette. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is she's had you have had so many videos that you've shown teaching us how to read that
Yes.
yes, they may be pretending to look honest,
Confident or honest. Yeah.
but wow, Jeanette, you've shown us to look for that chin or the cheeks
Or
or
the
the
eye gaze.
eyes,
Yeah, let me tell you about the eye gaze.
yeah.
The across all the cultures make the mistake of thinking eye aversion is one sign of deception. I want to make it clear that it can be a sign of deception, and also innocent and respectful people divert eye gaze depending on their individual personality and their culture. Okay. Deceptive people actually have stronger eye gaze. Why? Because they're watching their target and their victim to see if the victim believes their lies. So do not be duped with strong eye gaze, because that could mean that they're really watching you to see if you're believing their BS. And
Yes.
also, a strong eye gaze can
Wow.
be intimidating and dominating to their target, especially if they're a predator. So eye gaze is the number one myth that people think, oh, she couldn't look me or he couldn't look me in the eye. That's one puzzle piece. And Joyce and I want to invite you to cluster the puzzle pieces. The more puzzle
Yes.
pieces you have, just like when we were kids playing jigsaw puzzle,
Mm-hmm.
more puzzle pieces that you have, the greater and the clearer your image of what is happening will be revealed. One
Oh.
puzzle piece is just one puzzle piece.
Oh, Janette, this has been so great, and we just touched the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more. Would you please come back to continue the
Absolutely.
conversation?
You know, I
Now,
love to talk body language.
really, audience, you think she's passionate about it? I'm passionate about conflict. She's passionate about conflict. Put them together. Woo-hoo. So, I have on the screen how people can reach you. So
Oh,
tell
thank
us
you.
a little bit more about that, and because they may want to call you about coaching, about bringing you in.
Yes.
This is your turn to please very briefly tell us
Yes.
about.
As you know, Joyce and I are active on all of our social media platforms. But hey, take out your phone, like right now, get out on Instagram, connect on Instagram. I put my link on Instagram, and Joyce and I always give tips on how to improve your communication and tips about body language. So those are free. And if you want to any additional coaching, training, and presentations, contact me, acrobodylanguage@gmail.com.
Oh, thank you. Say that one more time for those who are listening only.
Yes, I'll put it in accurate body. Feel free to contact me at acrobodylanguage@gmail.com, and make sure you connect with me on Instagram, Instagram Accurate Body Language, because I'm always giving insightful tips and strategies so that you can catch the nuances that
You
are
sure
always
do.
in front of you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You'll be back. And audience, I hope you enjoy Janette as much as I always do. Thanks, my dear.
Love you. Bye,
Absolutely.
everyone.
Bye. So I sure hope that you enjoyed your time with Janette as much as I did, because she's a ball of fun. She's brilliant. And I've been very fortunate that we've created quite a friendship, and both personally and also professionally. So people ask me, Joyce, why should people come to you when there's so many coaches out there? What makes you different? Well, many times HR directors send their direct reports to me because I help them discover what it's costing them when they don't know how to resolve conflict. Could it be money, relationships, feeling stuck, having a bad night's sleep? Those are all important to me. So, all you need to do is find out how easy it is for us to work together. You can call me at 248 681 5831. Go to my YouTube channel, because there are about 250 short videos about conflict, whatever that. It could be the good conflict topics or the bad conflict. And of course, LinkedIn, connect with me. And the last thing is, please, if you want to be on my show, call me. If you're on LinkedIn, connect with me, and then we can set up a time to make sure that you could be on a guest on the show. I would love to have you. So I'm Joyce Weiss, and I'm thrilled that you came here. And until next time, remember, you get what you tolerate.